Looks like the quarry here at Schwarzholz is knocked out, so let's go ahead and build a new one. We'll start with one. If we want to increase capacity, we can do that later. But we'll throw the 3 workers on there. We'll start collecting more here, and then, yeah, we want to get that clay out at some point, but that's not really the priority. I think the priority should be to get a trade post active. So the King's Road, the closest one is right here in the wood lines. The closest one to this area, rather. So I wonder... I might try to put another trade post here. I don't know if it's going to play nicely with the one in the south. They may do something stupid like have this guy go north to try and grab stuff, and then have the guy up north come down here to grab this stuff. Because as best I understand, this trade screen is specifically tied to the region and not the trade post itself. So like I can't allow certain things here and then allow certain things at the other one, unfortunately. So yeah, we'll have to figure that out. But I'd like to get rid of some of this rubble stone. We're going to have a lot of it, so we can definitely get rid of some of that. And then we need to start selling rough stone. So we'll work on that. So we'll throw down a trading post here, another burgage plot, so we can have a worker that lives up here to deal with that. And then we'll go from there. We'll expand this as needed, but I think for now this should be good. All right, we opened up the trade route for dressed stone. Let's start producing those. I don't have a ton of it in stock. And then same thing with the rubble stone. We sold down to 400. Let's cut that down to 3. We don't need that much. Yeah, there's no way we need that much surplus. And then what I think we'll do over here, rather than selling rubble stone, we'll start to convert this and sell it as mortar. I think it's 1 rubble stone turns into 2 mortar. So we'll basically get 100% increase in yield from all of these. Yeah, you know, we should probably do that. Let's add a few more burgage plots here so we can get some processing power. Get that stuff turned over. We also need to get a lime kiln. We need 8 rubble stone. It says we don't have enough. That's kind of silly because we have 1100. But anyways, let me get that set up. And we finished our wooden church at Lecha. Let's make sure we're getting food coming in here. Yeah, we're getting some mushrooms there, so that's good. Should start to see that here in the granary. We'll put this person back on wild animals when that gets a little more filled out. And I think for now, let's just gather some rubble stone here, and then we'll try to get a manor house up and get those guys upgraded so that we can have some kind of defenders here. There's our taxes, minus 582. That's not bad. We still got 648 left. All right, we're starting to get a decent amount of food saved up here. So 3 months, and we're barely in March still. So I would imagine we have plenty to go ahead and start expanding. So where are we going to put our burgage plots? I know for sure we'll want to have some farmlands here. Yeah, why don't we start putting these guys so that they're close enough. So we'll get this family to work here. That looks good. So 3 burgage plots. We've already got the hitching posts set up and 2 extra oxen. So we can have these guys assigned here and ready to go. And as soon as these guys move in, we'll start assigning them, have them plant and plow. We'll need to get rid of this woodcutter lodge at some point and move it. Yeah, I don't want to chop these trees down if we don't have to, because there's not a ton of wood on this map actually, so we do have to be kind of careful. And it looks like this area is very fertile, but yeah, only if we cut the stuff down. Maybe we'll just do like a small farm area. We'll do the initial three Morgan, and then we'll do another one over here rather than completing this area out. And there you go. You can see we've got some dressed stone in there, so that'll sell for a decent amount. We're really struggling because we don't have tools. This is a problem. So we need to figure out a way of getting tools out. So what we probably need to do is get more stuff transferred here. The pelt trade is just not enough. So we need to send something else that we have more of. What do we have here that we can give up? So if we look at our supplies, we've got planks. We've got a little bit of food, but really not enough to where I'd feel comfortable sending it all away. We've got 14 months of supply. Actually, yeah, we kind of do have a lot of food here. A decent amount of wheat bread. Why don't we send a couple shipments of wheat bread? Where are these guys? Are they coming or going? They're going, so we'll have to wait till they come back. What about these? One's coming back. That's okay. We'll just do the transition now. So instead of sending pelts, we'll let pelts build up a little bit, and we can send. Well, should we do that? Yeah, let's send wheat bread. That'll give us a 5-to-1. I think that's pretty good. We'll get a nice healthy chunk of ore. And then what we'll do is we'll mass produce tools in this region, and we'll have everybody else buy from this region rather than having to barter. I don't want to send barter from here, or we could send barter from here. Shoot, that's not a terrible idea either. We'd have to find something to send back from each region. And yeah, there's nothing too crazy. We could send some more rubble stone here, but I'd like to get something that's permanent so I don't have to micromanage it so much. Same thing here, the rubble stone, we have quite a bit we can get rid of, but not a whole lot else. Oh, the salt. No, salt is here. We need to get rid of, we want to, no, we could trade, yeah, tools for salt, actually, that's fine. And then we can use that to turn some pork into sausages. Okay, so that's what we'll do here. Let's send, from here, we'll send tools. We don't have a lot of families to spare, but that's all right. So this one is going mistolets. We are going to send tools, and we're going to get back some salt. And then that means they won't be botching all of their stuff. So we don't have a ton of tools. Actually, I'm going to increase the amount of tools that we produce here. Let's get that up to like 100 or 150, maybe 150. We'll just keep a nice, healthy stockpile. Yeah, we need to get rid of our clothes again. Are we not able to keep up? Yeah, we produce way too many clothes. Even this place can't keep up. And we have 751 yarn still to convert. So that, I don't know, that probably needs to be scaled back by the dev. That's a lot. Not that it's a bad thing, but it is definitely not balanced. So let's see, what else do we want to do? Yeah, I think that'll be good for a couple. Well, once the salt runs out, we'll stop getting tools, and this place only has like 100 salt, so that's fine. Hopefully it doesn't drain our tools down to 0. Yeah, we should be okay though. And then this place, what were we doing? Wheat bread, yeah, we should get a very big shipment of ore once that's done. So we'll keep an eye on the food here, and then we can ship out, once we get some healthy harvests of pears, we can ship out pears and get back. Oh no, we're supposed to ship out tools though. Yeah, we'll use pears when we want to get more of the stone. So we want to get some dressed stone in here. We can use pears for that. Okay, so that'll work. Yep, I think that's good for now. We'll give it a few months and then we'll go back and check on it. We need to focus on leche here. Make sure everything's going nicely here. Yep, there we go. We got a new family move in. Perfect. All right, we've got our first set of barley farms set up. We're going to rotate it with just wheat and fallow. In other guides, I've done rye. So I did wheat, barley, rye, and I didn't have any fallow, and it seemed to work okay. I think in this case, I'm going to leave a fallow just in case. And then maybe we'll do another field maybe over here, and then we'll rotate all three and just kind of compare the fields after, I don't know, 3 or 4 rotations, 3 or 4 years, and just see how they're performing. I have a feeling that you actually need fallow now. You never used to need to do that. You just had to rotate 3 different types of crops, and then you'd be okay. Like if I put flax in here, so wheat, barley, flax, you'd be okay. That may not be the case anymore, but I'm not really 100% sure on that. So we'll have to wait and find out. Now we are planting starting in April, but we only have 1 family on it so far. We'll get a second one soon, but I don't think we're going to get a very good harvest this year because we're starting kind of late, but we'll get maybe half. If we can get half, I think I'd be happy with that. So we got a little bit of work to do, but looking good so far. All right, looking at our tool trade, it drained our tools here down to 15. That's a lot of tools. And then we just dropped off some tools here. We're up to 55. So that should last us for at least a year. Probably more than that, to be honest. So I'm going to turn that barter trade off because we need to build our tools back up. So once we send this bread, right, are they coming back? They're coming back. They're still going. I don't know why some people take one route and other people take a different route. It's kind of weird. Oh, here we go. Are we getting transporting water? What are you talking about? Why would we transport water? Oh, they're probably getting water for their house. Okay, that's fine. We're just waiting for some more ore to come in. Yep, and then we can produce some more tools. So that should be fine. This guy's coming back. Yep, transporting iron ore. Perfect. What about this guy? Why are you so far behind? Wheat for bread. So he hasn't even gotten there yet. That's fine. We'll get some ore. We'll get it in eventually. Let's go ahead and turn this one off. This is the salt for tools. I want to do that trade again at some point, but we don't need it right now. I'd rather turn them off, get them back here, stop taking our tools, because we do need tools here as well. So we'll start to build that supply up. And then we'll send a shipment here for something. I don't know what, but we'll send it for something. I guess we could do rubble stone. Do that a couple times. We don't really need a lot of rubble stone here either, though. Yeah, we have 52. Yeah, that's not a lot. We could do a shipment or two of that, and then we toggle it on and off. That's fine. So I'm kind of curious to see how much more efficient we are here. So 3 per year, 3 tools per year. And then there's a lot of stuff that uses tools. This uses 2 tools per year. Yeah, the sawmill uses 2 tools per year. There's quite a bit. So we will churn through the tools, but I think if we can get like 15 or 20 a year, I think that's going to be more than enough. It might be easier just to do it through the trade route. So we could always do the trading post, come here and then just disable this and then trade it internally. That could be an option as well. So we'll see. Anyways, we're good to go outside of there for a little bit. Let's wait a little longer and get that iron ore back. We're producing another set of farmhouse burgage plots and the whole setup here, so we'll get some more on this side. Oh, you know, first thing we should be doing here is upgrading these to have the apiaries. So we need to save up 50 regional wealth. We'll have that in a little bit. Well, you know what, we could, and we should definitely get somebody back on the hunting camp. So we'll have some pelts to sell. We just need to get more people living here. Oh, shoot. Yeah, we can get up to 2 families per month. But I think I put one of these guys on the wrong thing. Farmer. This should be farmer. He's unassigned. That's the one we're using to build these houses. You know what? That's fine. Just go work on the farm. Once somebody moves in, they can finish off that burgage plot. That's fine. Yeah, because we need to start hunting this. And then we need to get a worker for the trade post. That's what we need. I'm going to switch the butcher shop over to producing sausages. I'm kind of curious to see how that works. So it's going to turn 1 meat into 2. And my guess is sausages last for a lot longer. So let's see how it works. So they go in, they pick up the pork. Looks like they got, oops. Yeah, they got the salt, and then they have to go pick up the pork. There they go, pork and salt. Yep, 2 sausages pop out. And spoilage is low, it's not even in the granary. So I'm guessing it just doesn't spoil at all. Yep, we have sausages allowed at this granary, so that should count. And if I'm not mistaken, that counts as a second source or a different source of meat. So we technically have 1, 2, 3, 4 types of meat, and then 1 or 2 types of animal produce, so eggs and milk. All right, we've got another set of farms over here. I'm going to rotate all 3 crops and see if it makes a difference. So obviously this year is going to suck. July, August, yeah, we have almost no time before it starts, but that's okay. I just want to see how well it does. And then we need to start producing some pretty serious infrastructure to be able to process all this. There's a lot of stuff in here. Also, what is this looking like? So we need to clear this with the trees so we can start building on it without wasting anything. But that's okay. Yeah, we can do that later. That's not that big of a deal. Man, there's so much barley in this area. It's good, but it does make it challenging. Like trying to figure out where do we put all this stuff so that we can utilize as much of this field as we can. It's everywhere. Yeah, we'll have to pack everything nice and tight here. The good thing is we're not really processing anything here. We're mostly just going to be shipping it out, or I guess selling it off. I don't know. Yeah, probably just selling it off. And then we could use the money here. Oh, speaking of which, we've got 50. We have 50 regional wealth. We do not have anybody to make stuff at the saw pit. Let's get that going. Yeah, we need to get an apiary going. That's going to increase our yields by a decent amount. So right now, pollination is at an extra 10%. So we can boost that up. But anyways, we'll see how this does. Like I said, I have a feeling this is okay because I've done it in previous runs and it was okay for like a decade. But this is probably how it's supposed to be, so I don't know. I don't know why this works. Right, we got raiders that just showed up. That's not good. We don't have anything here to defend with, so we have to rush July, August, September. We still have time. Let's go ahead and get all 3 spear regiments out and try and rush them down here. Oh, nice. We have some people that are coming from here. Maybe we can draw them out. Oh, dude, there's so many. They're far behind. Yeah, let's see. Where are they? I just don't want them to burn the whole town down and kill all the people and animals and stuff. Wish I could see where they were. All right, looks like they're still moving up this way. So yeah, we have to rush everybody over here and just hope that we can distract them. Come on, boys, they're gonna be all exhausted. Oh nope, they're coming up this way. What the heck is going on? Oh my god. Alright, we have to just rush them. I don't know what else we can do. Normally we play pretty defensive, but they are taking a very weird path. Alright, we're losing people, but that's because yeah, we had to rush our guys over there, kind of exhausted. Did anybody sneak by? Alright, there we go. So we lost 4 people. Let's double check here and make sure that we're not missing anybody. We'll just have them chill for a second. I don't see anybody. I don't think anybody snuck past, so we should be good. Also, I don't know, these bodies are really far out. I don't know if we need to clean them up or if we're going to get a debuff if we just leave them alone. Alright, let's go. We'll go heal. Good thing they didn't raid. Yeah, it's a good thing they didn't raid from down here, because they could have easily wiped out this whole settlement, so we got kind of lucky there. And I think what we need to do is put our collection maybe right in this area. This would be a good spot for it. If we put it over here, it's going to take forever to get stuff from this side. And if we put it over here, it's going to take forever to get this stuff. So I think we pick somewhere central, like this yellow patch, so we can have both a granary and a storehouse here that are going to collect specifically these things. We'll probably have our bread. We'll have some bread processing over here, so we can deal with that. But the other stuff, the barley and the flax, will need to go over here. There's no need for it to come over here. So why don't we do that? Why don't we put it... Yeah, it's going to be like right in the center of the whole map. Actually, how does this look? Yeah, it kind of curves back this way. So we got to watch out for that. Okay, we'll just kind of guesstimate where it is. Yeah, it's somewhere around there. Okay, so if we put our processing or our collection right here, how much... We have 119 rubble stone. That's plenty. So we can get a granary and a storehouse in here. Probably need a whole network of them, to be honest. I don't think one is going to be enough to collect everything. You know, it might actually be. Yeah, it might actually be. So let's just put them over here. I don't want to destroy the trees, so I'm going to skew it more towards this side just so we don't destroy all the trees. And there we go. We'll separate it like that. So granary, storehouse. We'll build those. We need to get some employees over here as well, some families that can work it. Why don't we get some housing in the center area? There we go. So we'll get some central collection. We've got our 2 burgage plots over here. We also need to make sure that we're not collecting that stuff over here. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. So no flax. And then we don't want any barley in the granary. So there we go. No barley. And for now, we'll allow flour and wheat flour and all that stuff. But eventually we do want to get rid of that. We also need to get some processing. Let's just get... Yeah, I didn't plan this out very well, did I? Well, not exactly. That's not necessarily true. So we're going to have a granary specifically for collecting flour because it's going to come from everywhere. This granary is going to convert into just getting like meat and whatever burgage plot extension stuff. So that, yeah, that's not necessarily true. But for now, let's just build one here just so we can get some bread for the next year. We'll be able to process it from here. Well, there we go. But anyways, that should be good for a little bit. And we do need more housing down here too. Let me set some more up. We're doing okay still on food, 4 months. Yeah, we're still getting a decent amount of that. We will have a small harvest of food this year. We'll have about... Oh yeah, if we get a baker, we'll get about 200 wheat. 200 bread, I mean. So quite a bit more than what we're currently sitting on. So yeah, I think we should be fine. We just need to get more housing here. And then look at back here at Teufelsberg. We've got 46 iron ore, 43 tools. Tools are coming back up. That's looking very good. So did we run out of bread? We didn't. Yeah, so trading away bread, not really that big of a deal here. We can continue that trade. And then this region doesn't really need the bread either. Yeah, maybe they can use it actually. They're only sitting on 63. So that's all right. And then eventually we'll swap it out for something else. Probably pears or something. But that should be good for now. We are still sitting on 55 tools, so that hasn't changed. I got our first harvest season in Lecce. Let's see how well they do. I haven't separated these guys by work area. I think they should be able to handle it though. Yeah, we're mostly done with this side. Only 10 days in, so they'll rotate over here and get all this stuff. But yeah, I think we'll be all right. So we got our granary, our storehouse. These are all set. Once these are occupied, we'll start putting some people in. we're down to one family per year now, or per month. So we lost our first the first year bonus, but that's all right. All right, first harvest is done. We got pretty much everything off the field, so that's good. And then we can start putting some people in here to collect that stuff. So let's put one in this granary, one in the storehouse. We'll start collecting the flax and the barley here, and then we'll try to start trading that up here. I might try to use the trade post for that though, because I think doing it with some other kind of item. Well, you know, we could trade for food. Actually, this place is not doing too well in food, and we're going to keep growing our population fairly quickly here. So I don't think it's such a bad idea. Yeah, let's get more housing up here as well. So looking at our total harvest, we picked up 40 flax, 73 barley, and 29 wheat. The wheat sounds kind of low. I thought we were supposed to be getting around 50 wheat. What happened? Did we miss a harvest? That's not even including what we got here. We should have more than 50 then, because I had counted. It was 11, 11, and 8. Oh no, that's definitely not 50. I'm an idiot. 11, 11, and 8 should be around 30, so it's about right. And then whatever was not collected here. I mean, this one was planted like 2 months before harvest, so there's almost nothing there. So yeah, this is probably accurate and fine. Let's get 2 more of these, 2 more apiaries. So that will continue to push up the yield. All right, what we can do is trade. Let's go ahead and do pack station down here. We don't have... Oh, wait. I got some of these set up. Yeah, I want to leave some of these alone so I can just put a person on and not have to fiddle with it. So this one was crossbow for charcoal. We don't need that one. Lesha, however you pronounce it. Let me rename this. So Lesha is the farm. So this one we want to send, I think, pears. We just collected a ton of pears, and then we want to get back flax. There's only a little bit of flax down there, so it's not going to really do too much. Let's go ahead and put someone in charge. That's a 6-to-1 ratio. Holy smokes! So they only have 40 flax. So if it was 5-to-1, we'd be getting back like what, 10, like 8 back. We're going to be getting less than that. Sending out that many pairs. So it's okay, because what we can do is we can send out for the barley next, and that'll send a little bit more food down their way. All right, is there any labor that we can free up here that's not really being utilized? We kind of have a lot of people in the granary that probably not necessary, but that's okay. I don't really want to disrupt that. We might have to build some more briggage plots here, which wouldn't be necessarily a bad thing. We need to get more families if we're going to flood the whole map. So why don't we do that? Let's turn this area, either this area or this area, into a barley and ale production. So why don't we do that? We can get another granary. I know we have a bunch of granaries over here, but the problem is these granaries are not close by. There's no good area. I guess we could put some processing right here. We could use this one. But it's still not that close. I'd rather have it very close. So what we'll do is we'll set up some burgage plots here for the workers at the malt house. Why don't we set ourselves a road right here? We'll just get a row of housing if we can. All right, that took me way too long. Trying to figure out how to fit all this stuff in here. I've got 4 new burgage plots here for the malt house workers. So 2 in each. I need more than that, don't I? I need a granary worker as well. I do. All right, let's get some more down here then, because this will just produce more food. Yeah, we're gonna have to have a funky looking shape here. Hopefully it doesn't screw us. Yeah, it wastes a lot of space. A lot of space. Let me mess with this then. All right, that doesn't look too bad. 320%. I'd like it to be a little bigger, actually. Let me move this road. All right, that's much better. 470%. We'll go with that one. We don't need that road. So this is going to provide a duplex. We can upgrade that to duplex, and we can use some of the labor over here as well. These workers don't necessarily need to be too punctual. Like if they go off on September for the harvest, I think that's all right. So there we go. We've got plenty of new labor coming in. We can handle that once we're done. So we'll do this trade for now. We'll do this flax trade with pears, and then we'll swap it out for barley in pears. And hopefully that will be enough to keep this place afloat because they're down to 2 months. So yeah, they're not doing too well. But we do have bread we need to convert. So once we get that done, we should be in good shape. All right, it's getting a little scary now. We're running out of food. We don't have mushrooms to collect either. So can you please? There we go. They're starting to do it. Oh, we don't have anybody. We don't have anybody to process. So we'll go ahead and upgrade this burgage plot and have him be the baker. It's not perfect, but we'll relocate it later. We just need food. We're really struggling here. So let's get the bakery up. And I don't know where all our food went. What the heck, man? We had quite a bit of wheat sheaves. I guess it's kind of coming in. Okay, there we go. Producing bread. Yep, there we go. All right, that should shoot our months. Yep, we're up to 2 now, off of 1. And then we also need to send... let's see, did they come down here yet? What is taking them so long? This is the one sending pears. These guys are leaving. These guys are leaving. Yeah, they're finally coming down. I don't know what took them so long. Oh, we don't have a road connecting it, actually. We do, actually, right here. Why didn't they go down? It seems like this one's faster, but is that going to cut through? No, that's okay. All right, this is not good barley area. So we can drop a road right here. Yeah, we can just drop a road from here straight through, and I guess that wouldn't really make that much of a difference. Okay, here comes the barter. Let's see, they're going to drop off the pears. They dropped off 3 pears, so that basically doesn't do anything. All right, anyways, kind of funny. Now we're running out of fuel at Lecha, so we need to get this guy cutting somebody in the charcoal kiln. That I'm not worried about. I'm a little bit concerned about the bread, though. Yeah, okay, no, it's being stored in here, so that's fine. Yep, that's much better. 4 months of food supply. We should be good up until March, especially since we're getting some more stuff in. Let's go ahead and do another apiary. We need 1 more after this, and that'll be all 5. So we're up to 12%. I think we started at 8% pollination. So that bonus is coming in nice. And then we're going to start producing, or we're going to drop off some flax here. And then I'd like to turn that, we use one of these tailor shops to turn that into, yeah, dude, we have so much. We have so many clothes. We need to stop. That's just way too much clothes. We can't get through it all. Yeah, we need to have somebody do linen into gambeson. So let's allow... Right here, we'll allow linen, and make sure we disallow linen. Okay, don't allow linen there. And then the gambeson, we don't really need storage for the gambeson, but we'll put it here anyways. Yep, they're gonna get snatched up by these guys really fast. There we go. I could see flax coming in here. We're getting linen converted. That's perfect. Schwarzholz. Why is Schwarzholz cold? It's probably these guys up here, if I had to guess. Yep, all the way up here. They just got fuel. That's fine. That's why I was planning on building that thing up here so that we could deal with it. The fire, what do you call it? Firewood. Should probably do that. But anyways, let's get this lime kiln going so we can start selling that stuff off. So go ahead and work the lime kiln. And again, you're allowed to hold lime or a mortar. Perfect. And then we need to get somebody working up here. Yeah, you can work the trading post up here. Let's go ahead and sell the mortar. So export mortar down to 0. We're also selling off rough cut stone. Export that down to, I don't know, 30, 50. We'll just go down to 50 for now. So that's fine. What else are we selling up here? Nothing actually, because we need to convert the rubble stone into mortar, and then that will, yeah, that'll get converted. Okay, so we're good there. 1 unassigned. We can get a second person working the lime kiln, which I think we should probably do. Yep, this looks good. So hopefully we start bringing in some decent revenue here. This town's kind of struggling a little bit compared to the other ones, but not really. I just haven't been pushing it that hard. And then, yeah, we have way too many clothes here. We probably have too many clothes everywhere now. Kind of absurd. Yeah, 285. Everywhere's got too many clothes. Okay, well, we'll probably start selling sheep soon so they don't go too crazy. Keep that sheep population down a little bit. Are we even producing up here? No, we do have yarn though. I did upgrade this guy. I didn't put him on the right one though. So I'm an idiot. Swap that over. We'll start making the clothing. Also, we have a lot of money. We have 3 grand. So why don't we get a retinue Let's get a manor house built up here. Do we? I don't really want to use up this space. I feel like this is just really good real estate. I don't want to take that up. I wouldn't mind building it like right here. Oh, jeez, man. There's so much good farmland in this spot, which it's good, but it's also kind of bad because we need to figure out where the heck we're going to put stuff. All right, I'm going to get the manor house built up here. We don't have enough for a garrison tower. We definitely need that. So let's make sure we got somebody working the planks. No, we don't. All right, let's get somebody in there. Yeah, we're going to need to recruit as many of these guys right away as we can. So if we get raided along this area, we're going to need something to at least slow them down. I'm going to go ahead and swap this out from flax to barley. And that's a 2-to-1 ratio. Okay, so that one's going to give quite a bit more food. So there's like 66 barley. 58, it's been spoiling, I think. I think we had over 60 when we started. So that, yeah, that's going to produce about 25, 27, 28, about 28 or 29 pairs here. So that'll help a little bit. And then if you look at this next harvest, we should be getting a massive amount of supplies. So quite a bit, over 100 barley. And then over here, we get about 80 again, about 80 flax. So that should be, yeah, about double what we did last year. So not bad at all. Now, one thing, as I mentioned, we need to keep an eye on is how these levels are going. So on fallow, it does go back up. And then if we look at this, so that's a good sign. Wheat is at 100%. So that is, it's not discharged at least. So yeah, I think doing a 3-crop rotation, as long as you don't do wheat and rye together, you're fine. Yeah, if you have wheat and rye back to back, that seems to be draining the soil a bit, but it's all right. Anyways, we're almost done with the year. Let me get to March. And there we go. There's March. What happened to our bell anyways? Our church bell. So looking at March, we've got Lecha up to a pretty healthy amount. We've got 21 families here. So that's, what, second year? Yeah, we haven't been on this one for too long. We are going to get our taxes increased here pretty soon. So we're going to go from 672 to like 1300. So that'll be fun. But we are collecting quite a bit of money. So 1300, we have enough with just Teufelsberg to pay that off. And then the other two are pure profit. But yeah, that's going to cut into our profit quite a bit. And then it'll jump up again in one more year, but we haven't really been taxing this area. We haven't been taxing Schwarzholz, and Lecha hasn't been taxed at all yet. So once we get that up and running, we should be able to generate some decent tax revenue from those two. And also, we haven't been selling sheep yet. Once we sell the sheep, that's going to make a big difference, I think, as well. Can I get on Teufelsberg? There we go. Yeah, 110 sheep, and then the lambs have been going back up as well. It's because we have this thing on... we have our butcher shop set to produce sausages, and we don't really have any salt left. But yeah, looking at this, we got 150 tools saved up, 65 iron slabs, 22. Yeah, we're looking very healthy. Let's go ahead and make sure we get some replacement spears so we don't have to worry about that too much. We do still have a decent amount of crossbows, but it might make sense to get a couple more. I think for now we're probably okay. And then the armor shop, we will need to switch this out eventually to get some mail armor, and that's going to make a huge difference. I mean, we will produce Gambison. Actually, we might already have some. Yep, we do. Look at that. We've got some Gambison already. So once we produce all the Gambison, I probably will switch off of selling flax, or we'll produce flax and just sell it there. Yeah, because there's really no need to have flax. We produce enough clothing. Usually you would use flax to produce clothing, but we already have enough clothing from the sheep, so that is not necessary at all. But yeah, I think we're good here. So Schwarzholz didn't have that much of a change this year, but we are starting to sell. Let's see, is it actually going up here? It's not. And he's selling pelts up here. Like, come on, dude. Please tell me you don't have... Yeah, they don't have it down here at least. What are you doing? You should be selling lime. We have plenty of lime here. Oh, this is infuriating, man. Yeah, you should be able to decide what trading post sells what. That's just such a bonehead move, in my opinion, that you can't do that. Yeah, because we haven't sold... Have we sold any rough stone here? Actually, maybe we did. Okay, we sold a little bit of rough stone. We haven't sold any mortar yet, though. So I'm curious where that stone went. If it went to this trade post or it went to the one south. But we'll have to keep an eye on it. this, I mean, this is a big storehouse and it's already getting full. That's not a good sign. It means it's not efficient at all. So if worst case scenario, if we have to, we'll just we'll spam some storehouses down here next to the trading post and just increase the population and just have a glut of workers come up here and grab it and then come back. If we do that, it would probably make sense to rebuild the lime kiln back south because this produces 2 to 1. I'm pretty sure. I believe you put 1 rubble stone in, you get 2 mortar out. So it would be a lot more efficient if we transported the rubble stone down here and processed it. Actually, everything would just get transported. So we would just delete, we would get rid of this storehouse, get rid of the lime kiln, just keep the quarry and the workers up here, get rid of the trade post, move all these people down here. God, that's so stupid that you can't do that, but it is what it is. Yeah, we could relocate the workers down here and just make a bunch of storehouses, and they'll just have to keep making trips up north to grab everything. So that's probably what we'll end up having to do. Okay, I'm pretty sure I've made that mistake in another campaign, but, you know, fool me once, and then they keep fooling me, so... Anyways, so up here, this is starting to look pretty good. So we were piling up the rough stone, but we weren't really making enough dressed stone. So now we have another stonemason that can do that. Still sitting at 49 tools, so this is looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and get 2 people here at these stonemasons. So 4 people total. And then we should see an uptick in sales from that. How much have we sold? Yes, 1,165 worth of it, and then 2,187 of the rough stone. So this stuff is worth way more. Did we sold a sheep? How did we sell a sheep? Anyways, this region is in good shape, especially now that they have tools. I don't think we need to change much here, other than maybe start upgrading to Burgage Plot Tier 2, so we can start generating a lot more passive income here. This place is making good money, but it could be so much better. We've got 39 families at tier 1 and 3 at level 2. But if we get all of those guys up to level 2, that'll be another 40, almost 40 regional wealth per month. So was that 480 a year? Yeah, another 480 per year. I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it does add up. And are we able to satisfy these guys' needs? See, we just need to get, well, obviously, the barley, but we don't need barley if we're producing, if we get another church, or if we get this church upgraded, and we can get some fruits. So what we'll probably do, is there something we want to trade long-term? Not really. So we'll produce our own fruits here then. I think that's what we'll end up having to do. Okay, that'll be for next year, I think. And then at Himmelreich, we haven't really had to touch this place in a while. The food's going back up, so food stocks are good. Yeah, we don't really need to touch much here. And yeah, they're starting to produce a lot of clothes as well. Sweet, so looking good. I think what we'll focus on next year is getting the ale. I mean, we have the infrastructure done. We just need to get a few more people moved in and a few things upgraded. But we can definitely handle the ale production soon. Perfect. And that's not... I didn't tell them to do that, but that's exactly what we wanted. So the ale came here. We want all of that, all the malt to go here and nothing else. And do not open a stall. So there we go. This is going to be a dedicated granary just for malt stuff. Malt house. This is very low spoilage. I'm going to leave it alone. I don't want to convert it yet because that's going to last quite a while in there. And then we need to get this guy upgraded. Yeah, somebody needs to move in here. We'll upgrade him. Oh, that reminds me. We don't have... Yeah, we need to get a place for people to drink. So let's get a small tavern. We're going to need a couple of these things. I'm going to put them on the outside here so they're not too far away. And we'll get 2 of them up. So most likely we'll need another... I think 2 malt houses is probably okay. We'll probably need another brewery though. So we'll save this room right here so we can fit another brewery right here. It won't be too far from the granary. And we'll produce ale. Yeah, and I think maybe we'll leave enough room for another Burgage Plot there for the brewery. And then we'll put a road right here. And then that should be the shortest route instead of going up that way. Okay, so yeah, that's looking really good. We'll get the manor house built. We can upgrade the retinue as soon as we need it. If we get raided here again, we'll upgrade this one first, but otherwise we'll just keep the cash. And then I think that's it. That'll be it for year 9.